Hello, tile friends. Welcome back to another episode of Tile Money, the podcast where we discuss the business of tile. My name is Luke Miller, your host, and I am a licensed tile contractor myself. This episode of Tile Money is brought to you by the National Tile Contractors Association and is sponsored by Laticrete International. Today I have another interview for you. I'm glad I was able to catch up with Malcolm Campbell and meet him in person. Malcolm's been providing a lot of value inside my group, Tile Money, on Facebook. And in this interview, we talk about his business. He's a 5-star contractor with the National Tile Contractors Association. And Malcolm specializes in commercial work, but he also has a custom residential crew. So I know you're going to find a lot of value in this. We talked about his training programs, working together as a team, and the value, how to show value as a commercial contractor to other contractors. So I'm excited for you to hear this episode. The video was actually accidentally cut off during the interview. So we do have some of the video for you if you're going to watch this on YouTube. And if you're listening to the audio, you might be interested in checking out this YouTube channel. Search for Tile Money, because what I did is Malcolm gifted me a book. He gifted me this book called Guastavino Vaulting, The Art of Structural Tile. And in the 1800s, this family, the Guastavinos, came over and they provided a solution for basically the city of New York. And because of all the buildings that were burning down due to the wood being so flammable, they provided this way to build vaulted ceilings with nothing but tile and masonry. So really cool book. The link is in the notes here, and you're going to want to, this is a real tile geek book for sure. So if you're a tile geek and you're into the history of tile in America and beyond, you're going to want to check this book out, because it's really a deep book, and it's very humbling to actually read this book and scroll through the photos and see what they were able to accomplish long before we had all these fancy tools that we have now. I mean, this is just something else. So thank you, Malcolm, for gifting me this book, and thank you for sharing this with me. Malcolm has a pipe dream, friends, so you're going to want to listen to this interview to find out a couple of Malcolm's pipe dreams we talk about. One of them is associated with this book, and I think it's a really cool dream. So friends, reach out to myself or Malcolm to talk more about the Guastavinos and the vaulted ceilings. And like I said, check the link below to check out this book, or watch the YouTube video to see a lot of these photos that I was able to put inside this video. So, and I also wanted to say, we got another Tile Money tip with Ron Nash. This is a little bit different tip. Ron, I doesn't even know I recorded, or I guess he knows, but this was kind of like a bonus tip. It's kind of embarrassing on my part. We talk about buying a car, and I'm probably the worst example of how to go about buying a vehicle. So Ron sets me straight a little bit. It's interesting how he buys vehicles, completely opposite of me. So you're going to want to listen to this. I think there's value there. I know I found value, so I hope you do too, friends. So until next time, friends, stay profitable out there. Do the best work you can do. Be the best tile contractor you can be. And don't forget to be checking your profits and know your numbers. Okay, enjoy this episode, friends.
Hello, tile friends. Today here at Coverings, I'm sitting down with my friend, Malcolm Campbell. Malcolm, how are you? Thanks for being a guest on my podcast. Can you introduce your company?
Yes, thank you, Luke. Thank you for the opportunity to sit down with you today at the Coverings show. I'm the president of Midwest Mosaic out of Toledo, Ohio.
Okay.
We go by MW Mosaic or just plain Mosaic.
Nice. Well, I know you're doing a lot of good work out there, and you've recently become a 5-star contractor. So we want to dive into all that. But before we do you have any hobbies, or what do you do in your free time out there?
I like to go camping with my sons, and I'm involved with the Boy Scouts in our local community.
Okay. Family man. Excellent. I love it. Love it. How many sons you got?
I have 2. One's in college at the University of Cincinnati.
Okay.
That's where I went 30-some years ago.
Yeah.
And I have a freshman in high school.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. Very nice. So what does your business look like today? You're a tile installer. Take us through kind of the overview picture.
Well, the company was established in 2004.
Okay.
I mentored under the Trendells at Marble Restoration in Toledo, Ohio. and the Trendells are involved in the TCAA.
Okay.
So I've always been exposed to the value of being involved in the industry, interacting, taking advantage of training, and the classes they have here, and talk to the people that sell us the thin sets and the grouts and all sorts of cool tools.
It's all about those relationships and connections, and that's great. So, how many employees at this time?
I have 4 on my crew.
Yeah.
And then I have another crew. They have about 3.
Okay.
And then I have a guy that does strictly residential in Toledo, Ohio.
Okay. So 2.
Yeah. And then I have a office. I have one person in the office.
Oh, good. Good. Yeah. So two crews handling commercial. Is that right?
Yeah, 2 crews, and I'm among them.
You're on one of the crews, and you handle commercial work, a lot of commercial work, and then one crew handling residential.
Residential, and he's just by himself.
Okay.
And I like to evaluate people on the commercial side first, and if they're, in the Toledo market, I'd like to put them on the residentials, but we have to make sure that they have capabilities first before they take a step into that.
I see. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a training period and testing the waters, so to speak.
Yeah.
Nice.
So in everybody probably remembers the financial crisis.
Yeah.
Period of 2008 to 2010 was very disruptive, and to tell you the truth, I didn't lay much tile.
Okay.
I shut it down, and I went back to the university at Bowling Green State University and got a business degree.
Okay.
And that really changed perspective for me, because before that, I really only knew the business model that I had learned from my mentors.
Right.
Which is fantastic.
Right.
He was very successful, and he taught me to estimate, John Trendell.
Mm-hmm.
And then I taught my estimator, Adrian, how to estimate the same way, and he's taken off with it full time.
Okay.
So I have him in office, too.
Well, that's great. So
I say that about 12 people. We have about 12 people.
Oh, 12 people total.
Yeah, but, in construction, it goes up, it goes down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Depending on if it's Monday or Friday.
Right. And we like to do commercial jobs for clients that have multiple units. Like to try new gigs. Like right now, next week, we're going to start an Arby's in Columbus, Ohio, which is 2 hours from me.
Okay.
But to tell you the truth, if we're successful with the people that are on the team and we achieve our goals on a job, then we're going to get more of those.
Right.
And we get better and better typically with each unit, and that's good for business.
Okay. Yep. I like that. So, so you're installing most days?
Most days.
Okay.
I have the calluses on the knuckles. I'm a glove wearer, though.
Yeah.
For the 2 tribes that we have, I'm in the glove wearing tribe.
Okay.
Yep. And I'm 50 now.
Okay.
And I can noticeably tell that I've slowed down compared to where I used to be. So I've become much more focused for myself and for my company. Next 10 years, training people to come up from beginners to becoming very useful improvers, or perhaps even a candidate for apprenticeship, or help introduce them to somebody that needs help.
Nice. Yeah.
So I believe at this point in time in my career that I have the capability to train people solid, and I believe that I will become a source for good help.
Yeah.
Because everybody feels the pain about finding good help.
Right.
And I think with the connectedness that we now have in the, like the Facebook groups and so on and so forth, that I think we're going to see a lot more what I would call liquidity in talent moving among various teams and regions.
Right.
Seeking out to learn the things that they need to learn. And I believe some of this is going to be driven by working underneath individuals that they've seen interacting out in the groups. I'll give you, for instance, like we know Rock Solid Pools.
Yeah.
Reed's company.
Yeah, Jimmy Marshall, is it?
Right.
Or,
Reed.
Oh, Jimmy Reed. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
So, how awesome, and I got a thing.
Yeah.
Right. But how awesome would that be to go and work at Jimmy Reed's company?
Yeah.
for like 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Just check it out.
Yeah.
Have an insider scoop.
Mm-hmm.
So are you making headway, like messaging, starting conversations?
No, mostly just Walter Mitty pipe dream kind of stuff.
Okay.
There's too much work to do during the day, don't you know?
Yeah. well, I like that. And you know what? I mean, that's where it starts, right?
Yeah.
It starts with an idea.
Yeah.
An idea. Hey, how cool would it be to pick his brain?
Yeah.
And you start a friendship, and you never know where that's going to lead.
Yeah.
You never know.
And I've had many of those in the industry.
Yeah.
A lot of guys in Chicago, like Greg and Eddie and Artie and that whole gang. Fellas out of Cleveland, Josh Fox, a lot of guys in Michigan. I'm just over the border.
Yeah.
They let me come up there and take work from them, but we all get along,
Okay. And I'm looking at your 5-star name tag there, and congratulations. I understand you just received it about a month ago.
Yes.
So congratulations are in order. How many?
Thank you.
There's not very many of them in the country, and
I think there's less than 100.
Yeah,
and only 2 in the state of Ohio.
Okay.
1 in the east state of Ohio.
Okay.
And then I've got the whole west of the state.
Yeah.
So everything from the Horseshoe in Columbus and west of it to Indiana, Cincinnati, and Toledo. This is my market.
Yeah.
No other no more 5-stars should be in there.
Okay. So
we're gonna take it over.
Okay. Excellent.
No, but actually, I'm quite proud of it.
I would be.
And hopeful. We had talked about the financial crisis, in 2008, right. And when my phone started to ring again in 2010, things were pretty lean.
Right.
And I had a hatchback and a wet saw.
Yeah.
And now we're at, about an organization of about 10 to 12 people.
Wow.
And we're at about a steady state of it for about the last 4 years. So we're really getting our groove.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, it sounds like it. And how do you, what are your goals or your plans? Because I know you didn't just get the 5-star thing just for that name badge there. So what are your plans for that, to put that into action and work for you and work for the business?
Well, one of the values of coming to coverings is meeting people and networking. This is extremely valuable, and I recommend it for anyone that's considering to try and put it on their calendar, at least once in the next 3 years.
Right.
Okay. So while I was at the university getting a business degree, I met some people. They don't know how to lay tile, but they went on to have careers in human resources. And I said, a year ago, I said, I have this problem. I know that I need to be 5-star, but just like the pipe dream that I have to go work with Jimmy Reed, I had a pipe dream that I wanted to get the 5-star because I believed that it was going to really help the type of business that I was going to get compared from where I'm at.
Okay.
I mean, we grind it out on the Arby's jobs. Anybody that's done this type of commercial knows that it's very competitive.
Yeah.
It's a low bid. You can still show your value.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you build a good team, the budgets are there, and talented people that work well together, that work well with others, can make good money traveling and doing this competitive tile work. But having done the big union stuff with the Trendells, back in the 2010s and the 1990s, there's a whole other market there. And right in the specs, they write right in the front end that they want 5-star contractors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. So there it is.
I networked with my friends and said, hey, I need you to help me carry this load.
Yeah.
And so they took it on as consultants, and they did a fantastic job filling out the application and getting the information out of me on a timely basis.
Oh, nice. So you called on the brotherhood on your friends and your peers.
And I hope to introduce them to our industry some more.
Okay.
Because now they're further along in their career.
Yeah.
And in HR, and the way that technology is now, it would be very helpful for them to have somebody like us, and me as an ambassador, to say, here's a whole industry with a need.
Right.
We feel the pain of, good help is hard to find, and you're good at going out and finding people that, through methods that just work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's excellent. So the 5-star is almost like marketing itself. Once you get that, your phone starts ringing because of that. Is that correct?
Only a month in, I can't confirm, but what I do hear from people that have 5-star businesses, for instance, Philip Cozy up in north of Detroit with Stewart Tile. And, of course, Dan Welch with his fine business up there in Grand Rapids, Welch Tile and Marble. That they're having fantastic conversations with architects and designers who have a vision to accomplish something. Those people have pipe dreams, too. In fact, they probably have more unreasonable pipe dreams, but we won't hold that against them. But I'd like to have the opportunity to help them.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. So we talked about, the Arby's gig and the commercial work. And, you also have, the residential work. So they're two different things.
Completely different.
So I interviewed a lot of, residential contractors already. I haven't really interviewed a lot of commercial contractors. So I'm excited to interview you. And I appreciate your input here. What is the value? In other words, you get into this and it's a completely different game. What is the game, the value there that you're selling to that contractor?
Well, we talked a little bit about this prior, but one of the things, and after having a career in commercial tile work as long as I had superintendents, when I was younger, that then moved up into project manager roles. So it's a relationship business that is, I think, a lot like residential, where, at least as I understand with a lot of residential contractors, is they have relationships with builders. These builders might have tracts of homes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you get locked in and you're just part of the team and you grind them out. Well, it's the same thing in commercial construction, except the homes aren't all in the subdivision. You're going to have to bounce around in a geographic region that works for you. Whether that's 90 minutes drive or 120, or if you're willing to stay in a hotel all week, I'll go as far as 6 hours for a commercial job with a client that I feel safe with. It's not risky. And he has a team of plumbers and electricians and all of that. And we all work together even though the town is different. That's how it's different. And then also bidding is a lot different in commercial. I do a thing that I was taught by John Trendell, and John Trendell was taught by an Italian family in Cleveland called the Salvaggios. So this is going back to the 70s. And in those days, they would have to wear suits. And they would drive around to various plan rooms in the city. Some of them would be subscription only, and there would be blueprints in there. And a lot of estimators from different companies coming into these rooms and smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee and talking around the water cooler and all bidding the same project. But one guy is doing the windows and the doors, and another guy's doing the carpet, and you know what I'm saying? And the other thing is submitting the bids. They would have to write them out on forms and run around and get signatures and notaries, and then have to turn them in at such and such a time. All of that has changed with the internet. And I saw that take place when he taught me back in the 90s. We used to get blueprints that would get shipped to our office. This was where we were at then. But they were shipped to our office, or we got them on microfilms and put them on this machine. The machine cost over $20,000 a year to maintain and to pay for the subscription in the region that we had. And we had to wait so long for project information. They would tell us that there's an addendum where there would be a change in the documents that we had to reflect in our proposal. And we would know 2 days before the addendum that it had been issued, because at that time we had email. But we'd still have to wait to see the documents. All of that has changed.
They're in the mail.
They're all on the internet now. And there's
instant.
And now the plan, instead of the local plan room, they have just a multitude of options that I think would be daunting for a new person that's coming in. A multitude of options as to where you could pay money. Because that's a marketing budget, where you're going to pay money to get access to blueprints. And what technology are you using to read those blueprints? My estimator, Adrian, uses PlanSwift.
PlanSwift.com. And well, thank you.
We made a commitment to that three or 4 years ago. And I've never operated it, but Adrian is really good at it. And now he's at the place where he's producing color drawings.
Okay.
Just like anyone would get a set of drawings if it's a house or even, a restaurant, and you get out the highlighters, and you start marking the drawing up.
Yeah.
Well, they do this with the software.
Yeah.
And then they're able to create what you call like a legend.
Yeah.
For each of the different tile types.
Yep.
You take a 2,000 square foot floor in any old grease pit, and there'd probably be 2 different tile types on there. Well, he produces this drawing, and there's a picture with the 2 different colors on it.
Yeah.
And that might seem ordinary to, people that work with AutoCAD and stuff like that. But for folks that mix every day, that's a really nice something to give the client that's asking for the bid.
Yeah.
And he's been really able to help general contractors to then present to their owner clients.
Yeah.
And he's given them this drawing, and that's been putting us in a advanced position prior to the project being awarded. So I really like what he's done with that.
Yeah, helps you make that sale. And that adds value. Yeah, excellent.
And it also gives me a document now to share out in the face webs.
Yeah.
Hey, we're jumping into some of these Arby's.
Yeah.
Recently, I finished a couple of Menards that I shared in the Facebooks, and I said it went real well to the Facebooks. I said it went real well, and we're expecting that we're going to do some more of these. I don't know where.
Yeah.
But if you have a Menards in your town and the home center hasn't yet been redone, I might be coming near you.
Yeah.
To go and do that, and it'd be nice to work with you.
Okay.
Just like I know it would be nice to work with Jimmy Reed. I don't have to dream about offering an opportunity for people to come and work on a 3-day project with me and see what we're about.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's excellent.
And I've gotten great response with that.
Yeah.
So now we're starting to share those drawings with people.
Excellent. Yeah. I like that. That sounds like a powerful thing, and that's great advice and a good tip. Mm-hmm. If you could go back in time and maybe give your younger self, one piece of advice that you know today that you didn't know, what would that be?
Well, I like that question. I have a standard answer for it. Forgive me.
Yeah.
But it's begin with the end in mind. Or begin with the end in the mind.
I love that. The end in the mind.
The end in the mind.
Yeah.
How often is it that you just start laying tile, especially in commercial, and you just grab the first long wall, and we'll say that'll be full tile.
Yeah.
And then you don't double check your module, and you end up with a finger cut elsewhere, or need a Dutchman.
Yeah.
That's not really good style. So when I say for installers to begin in the end in the mind, that really that means get a hold of those string lines, get a hold of those lasers, get a hold of those straight edges. Yeah. I know we're starting down here at the bottom, but you might not have checked what's happening up here or whether the outlets have pumped out stuff. Yeah. Now to all the rock stars that come here, they all know that. That's the price of poker. But these days, even still, because I do work with a lot of new people, and they get themselves caught by just not planning ahead. We're going to start here, but what kind of end are you going to end up with? Yeah.
No, that's solid advice, and I really like that saying as well, Malcolm. So thanks for bringing that up. I appreciate it. And when we're building a business, oftentimes, in the beginning, we just take whatever work we can get. But how much more powerful is it if we say, well, this is what we want to look like in 5 years? Because then we have that end in mind. And then it's like every decision that we have to make on a day-to-day basis, we can ask ourselves, is this taking me closer to that end?
Yes.
Oh, I love that. You sound like a book reader,
Yes.
Any good business books you can recommend?
One that I'm reading a little bit of right now, simply because I had heard of the good to great concept of the bus. Okay.
Yeah.
And this has given rise to what I've mentioned out on the Facebooks, the whole bus driver concept.
Right.
Okay. And here's what's going on.
What's the name of the book?
Good to Great.
Good to Great.
It was written 20 years ago. I cannot remember the author's name.
Sure.
However, I believe the author has been mentioned in your Tile Money blog.
Yeah.
And recently he had done a post about the 3 personalities of the service business owner.
Okay.
The technician, the entrepreneur, and the manager.
Yeah.
And each of us that has our small business, and believe most people that'll be listening to this, especially if they're tile installers, have their own small business. The NTCA is a fine industry organization, and they've told me that the average member company size is 5.
Okay.
So I'm here to tell you, if you have 5 people in your organization, you've made it.
Yeah.
But,
and
here's the but.
Yeah.
This whole bus driver concept, Jim, I think the author's name was.
Okay.
He talked about if you're going, imagine you're going to a football game.
Okay.
You're like in high school football.
Yeah.
And you've done your training, you've done your coaching, and you show up at the game, and you're just not prepared. And you have they just mop up with you.
Right.
You're not getting the results that you're seeking.
Yeah.
Okay. And part of this is a function. You have to ask yourself as the owner of a business, do I have the right people on the bus?
Right.
And in Good to Great, he would say, and we have small groups in our businesses.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of seats.
Yeah.
Our bus is short.
Short bus.
So if you're in the tile business, you're riding a short bus.
Oh, no. Well, you can maneuver quicker.
Yeah.
All right. So,
but he says, get the people on your bus first.
Okay.
And this is going to take some entrepreneurship. You're going to have, if you want to get people on your bus, then you have to give them a reason for why they want to be on your bus.
Yeah.
What's your give to get for their followership?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, if you got good value in your followership, you don't need to put a lot of people on your bus. And the other thing is, each seat on your bus is valuable.
Yeah.
If you start treating the seats on your bus as valuable, good people will rise to that higher level of performance.
Right.
So these are some good to great concepts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe for too long, I was good at securing work because I was trained in a high energy office. It was very difficult to source good help.
Yeah.
So for what help that I would get, I would settle for it only to get bad business results or bad service results.
Okay.
On a continuous thing of projects.
Yeah.
So that changed last year.
Okay.
That changed last year.
Yeah.
By hook or crook, it changed last year. I sat down. You were talking about strategy and stuff like that in the 5-year.
Yeah.
I don't really have a 5-year plan. I just sat down and I said, well, here's something for the young person.
Yeah.
If you were to ask that question again. If you're really creative and entrepreneurial and you're in the tile business, there are so many directions that you can go in.
Yeah.
But be careful of that. Just keep a few priorities.
Yeah.
So last year I said, the people on the bus aren't the right people on the bus. And the part that I'm playing is that I haven't dedicated the time and attention that they need to get to train them on how we win.
Right. Together.
Okay?
Yeah.
And at that point in time, the light bulb came on for the whole concept of mud ducks merit badges for tilers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. And we've talked about that in the Tile Money group, and I really appreciate all the input. I have yet to read the book, but I'm going to read it because it sounds like it was really a light bulb moment and a life-changing, business-changing book for you. So excellent. Thank you for recommending that.
You're welcome. I brought you another book.
You did?
Yes. This book I brought you. I heard about this Italian tiling family.
Okay.
And the Guastavinos.
Yeah.
And if you went over by the Y Tile booth at what's the Y Tile booth?
Yeah, right over there.
There's a picture of a Guastavino tile job.
Okay.
Plastered across the mural back there.
Okay.
And they were a Spanish family that came over to the U.S. in the late 1800s.
Wow.
When cities were burning down. Because they were building everything out of wood.
Yeah.
And a family at the right time, they knew how to build masonry tile vaults out of or masonry ceiling vaults out of tile.
Yeah.
They would build these and open the book, flip to a book. I'll tell you a little more, and you can show it in there.
Hey there.
But they would build these vaulted arches and ceilings out of tile. The ceiling of the Vanderbilt mansions. Lots of public buildings from the Depression era have these vaulted tile ceilings.
Yeah.
And here's a pipe dream. Let's show the camera that one. That's nice. Yeah. Folks, wouldn't it be really good to get together and actually reproduce a vaulted tile arch at some facility in the next 10 years?
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, vaulted ceilings is
that one is a closed subway station in the City Hall, under City Hall in Manhattan. Let's show that one there.
Yeah, just incredible stuff here, Malcolm. Thank you for sharing me this. I'm gonna be enjoying this here in a minute. So, well, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day here and doing this interview. I know a lot of my audience is going to benefit. And if people wanted to get a hold of you, is Facebook the best way to find you?
Messenger would be the best way.
Okay.
Come on the Tile Geeks. Come on the GTP.
And if somebody's looking for a job,
if somebody's looking for a job,
hit me up. All right.
Let's talk about it.
Sounds
I talk
good.
about folks about that as much as I can.
Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
Luke, and I'm really looking forward to these episodes that you got for this commission.
Good. All right, Malcolm. Take care.
Tell me how you buy cars, and I'll tell you how I buy cars.
Yeah, I'm probably the worst example. I bought it at a tent sale in Walmart.
Oh, did you? Okay, so there was a return lease situation, or was it a new car or a used car?
Yeah, it was a used car. Used
car.
Yeah, it was a Ford. Ford had a tent sale going on, so I went there. I limped my old truck in, so I was in the worst possible negotiation system setting.
Okay. Why?
Yeah, because my truck was I was limping it in. It was falling apart.
Okay, so your car was you had totally got this thing down to the bone.
Yeah.
Okay. And anything that they gave you were willing to take.
Basically, I had to buy a car that day.
You had to buy a car that day. So this is a very interesting thing, because look at what time did to you.
Yeah.
Do you think that if you wouldn't have had to buy one that day, you would have got a better deal?
I think I could have got a better deal. Yeah, for sure.
This is a great lesson.
Yeah.
Think about it. Now, you just proved the theory of time, right?
Yeah.
If you were crunched for time, so therefore you paid more.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
So reverse that tactic. If you're a buyer, how are you going to put someone under a time crunch? They do it all the time. They say, I need your prices by 1:00. Or knowing full well that the contractor's driving down the road, hey, look, I got to have that price by the end of the day.
Yeah.
And immediately they're going to do something else. Okay, so I'm going to talk about some of these tactics here, but that could be interesting for us to talk about later if you think about it. And so if I do bring something like that up, remember that as an example. I've made bad deals too, man, and I can tell you that. I've done all kinds of things that are just stupid.
How do you buy a car, real quick?
So I have a deal that I pay cash for all my vehicles.
Yeah.
And how I do that is ever since I was 16, I save a certain amount of money every month.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's like a car payment.
Yeah.
Right. And I put $300 a month into a car payment thing. Yeah. And then once that account gets up to a certain dollar level where I think I can buy a new car or buy a car that I want, I will take that money out of the bank on the last day of the month. And if I can do it when the weather's bad, it's even better.
Yeah.
And I will put that money in an envelope in $100 bills. And I will go to a dealer. I have a couple that I've done pretty well with. Yeah. And I will literally put half of it on the table. And I will say, I'm going to buy a car today. Hopefully I'm going to buy it from you.
Yeah.
And they're on the last day of the month. Their commission checks start in that day.
Okay.
I know information, right? Yeah. I know that the car salesmen get paid month by month.
Yeah.
So the last day of the month, and if the weather's even bad where there's not a lot of traffic, you will get a guy to move on a car by 10 or 15% more than a sunny day in the middle of the month, or especially in the beginning of the month.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you start thinking about those tactics, you're using information, right? You know more about the way a person's paid. That comes into effect. Yeah. You know that financing is some, by the way, I've had it backfire too, because some companies make more if a guy's car is financed.
Yeah.
Because they have a bank associated with their thing.
Okay. Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they want you to finance. Right.
Okay.
So So there will be ways that you could actually do that and make it pay for you as well. But the point is I try to get as much information as I can. I go to all the websites in the market, and I look at all the pricing in the market.
Yeah.
If I can look at the dealer that I want to go to, I look at all their inventory, all their pricing.
Yeah.
I do as much knowledge as I can. Then I ask for the invoice.
Yeah.
And then I start whittling. I do what's called a nibble. We're going to talk about this and this.
Yeah.
Right. So the nibble, just for a preview, the nibble is, okay, you buy a suit. As you're wrapping up the suit, you're like, what kind of tie do I get with this? Now, the nibble is really frowned upon. People hate it. But the fact of the matter is 9 times out of 10, a guy will throw in the tie.
Yeah.
All right. In a car deal, I nibble like crazy.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to make a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
All right. I'm getting the undercoat, the leather packet, the leather protection. I'm going to get all that. That's going to go into the deal. Right. And I try to nibble as much as I can. But anyway, we can actually, there's a game that I play that we could play together if you wanted on later episodes.
That might be good. That might be fun.
It could be fun because then I can deploy some of these things that we've talked about.
Yeah.
And hopefully people can see them. Okay, so let's talk about this. This is testing a firm price position. I'm going to try not to put you on the spot.
All right.
If you want to insert, go ahead. These are, it's the idea is it's going to be pretty fun.
All right.